So please let me know if you want me to use the microphone. I hope that I can fill the room, the hall, with my voice to a sufficient degree. If especially those people sitting far have a problem in understanding, then I would use the microphone, but I think it's maybe not necessary, hopefully for me. What do you think over there in the back? Without microphone? Okay, so please start my presentation.
Intro or opening?
One. It's called one, and then it's, I think, opening. Okay, so as you see, there is something serious. And before I will start with saying hello, welcome, pleasures to be here, to be with you, I will remind you of this serious issue. We all had to learn what is an incidence, and we see more than 4 million people in the last 1.5 years dead because of COVID, and I'm very happy that although we have these difficult times and the university has switched to online again, that we can conduct this school, and I'm more than grateful. But we have to undertake several safety measures. I explain them in a minute. So what we see here on the right hand, to make it a bit scientific, what we see on the right hand is incidence over time. So we have here the time when the pandemic has started. As you see, it's very similar for Ukraine and for Germany. In Germany, we had a little test phase here to say I have suffered COVID among the very first by March last year. So I know a bit about what I'm talking. My wife is vaccinating people. We develop tests in my laboratory. We do vaccination strategy development. So I have really an idea what I'm talking about. What I want to say is we have these two peaks here, very similar. And in Germany, we have now wave number 4. In your country, it's wave number 3. As you see, in Germany, it's already decreasing. And I hope that this will be the case very soon. And we want to support this. And therefore, we ask you to be careful. Lecturers here are allowed to speak without mask, that you can understand them, especially their English. You have to wear a mask. If this starts to drop out, I will not really remember you, because this is more or less the task of our local organizer to maintain what the university demands from you. But to say, if you feel sick, especially if you have fever, I mean, not if you feel pain in your knee or so, but if you feel sick, fever, coughing, you should not come to the school. Sorry, you can participate online. We ask you for vaccination or recovery to prove this potentially. Maybe we will check later. If not, you have to undergo a test, and we ask you for repetitive testing on Wednesday and Friday, just to make sure that this will not become a super spreader event here. Masks, I said, and then there is some general issues we all had to learn, like frequently wash your hands with soap, potentially use disinfectant. If you are sneezing or coughing, not like this, and then shaking hands, but like this, potentially you refrain a bit from socializing with handshakes and hugs. I mean, up to you. For sure. And well, that's it. And now I start with the that's one more point. So think positive, stay negative, hopefully. So, and now I start with what is hopefully much nicer. I would like to welcome you all for lessons for biomedicine learned from nanotechnology and AI. So this is two really, or I should maybe say three really important subjects which we try to bring under one umbrella in the next week. For you as a young auditory, but also for our lectures. So this is funded by the German Academic Exchange Service. You will later learn a little bit what it means. We have started Monday last week, or actually we have started in, I think, summer 2020. And it will last until this Friday for you. Some of you participated already last Saturday online, where we had our online day with soft skill presentations and something about grant writing, etc. We have had a very intense, very nice, very positive week in Kharkiv last week. Yesterday we had a day off and went to Chernobyl, also very impressive. And now we have a week in Kyiv, and what I've seen so far, and if I look into your eyes, I'm pretty sure that it will be as positive, as nice as the last week. So this is organized by the Technical University of Applied Sciences in Wildau. This is my home university. I mean, I have been educated somewhere else. I will introduce myself later. And then the university in Kharkiv, National University of Radio Electronics. This is the home university of Professor Shevchenko, who's just chatting here with our local organizer. And of course, this great university here, I guess all of you know very well, Shevchenko. I pronounced this more or less in the right manner, and I've learned that this is a great poet from Ukraine, and I'm really happy that I'm here. I will send you some greetings, and there is a really nice coincidence. You have been celebrating, or you are still celebrating, maybe 30 years of independence of Ukraine. I have been called, I shouldn't say Independence Day, but Re-establishment Day. And then when I didn't remember the right word, it just came up to my mind, maybe resurrection. So national holiday, this was on August 24, and my university was born in the same year, and it's also kind of a resurrection or re-establishment, because before it was an engineering school. We have celebrated this just very recently. Here you see a little bit about the university. I will introduce later. And for this occasion, we installed something in front of our university. What you see here on this day here, we hoisted the Ukrainian flag together with the European flag and the German flag. I asked the Chancellor, he gave his okay. The President was on holiday at that time, and later I had a bit of discussion with her, but finally it was very friendly. And this is our President, Professor Dr. Ulrike Tippe. In our university, it's not called rector, it's called president. And she sends her warmest greeting to this school, and she hopes that it will be a germination point for further collaborations between us, between Kharkiv, between Kyiv, but also maybe between Kharkiv and Kyiv. So I briefly want to introduce to you all those people who are who invested time, who are working on this. So, and I will introduce myself in the next session. I briefly asked to introduce my two co-organizers with a few sentences. They will later take over to go into the scientific program. So I'm very happy that I could start this encounter together with Alina, Professor Dr. Alina Shevchenko, sitting over here. So maybe you say already a few words about yourselves, that people know who you are and that you are here a very important person.
Hello everyone, I'm really happy to be here and to meet all of you and hope all of our efforts will succeed and we'll have really great event. Thank you. And I'll tell you a bit more later about all of our scientific program issues and other things. Thank you.
Please stay a moment because I like to be between you. So, and from this university here, it's Dr. Anna Grebenik, and maybe you say also a few words.
It's the biggest pleasure, and I'm the most happiest person today to welcome you to our school coming true at my alma mater. Thank you for your participation. Looking forward to rocket.
So, and I should say, Alina is representing here the AI computer science part, and she is representing the nano part. They both came with this idea. Actually, she came up with the idea, and then I brought them kind of scientifically together. And then what you will see next week is actually the result of, well, this meeting here, this coming together. Okay, thank you. And you later have then the chance to say a bit more. Okay, we have more Germans involved, but not among us, but I want to mention them. This is our ground control team in Germany. It's Valeria Nechikovenko, and it's not a coincidence that they have the same name here. This is Alina's daughter, and she set up the website and does a lot of technical issues with this Wova app. By the way, you should have the Wova app on your smartphone and use it because it's a way of communicating and it's also a way of keeping you updated. So she took a lot of, she invested a lot of work in the background, and one of our students from our university, Gabriela, also supported this a lot. She is bioinformatician. So they are on the technical side in Germany. And then we have our local organizers. So here in this university, it's Professor Yuri Prylutsky over here. His wife, Dr. Svetlana Prylutská. So they are the academic local organizers, and they also organize the technical stuff. Those people I do not really, unfortunately, know in by name, all of them. And our local organizer in Kharkiv was Professor Dr. Igor Grebenik, and our Kharkiv ground control was Ina, his wife, and we had some tech support here. And this is our tech support, Oksana and Irina. I don't know whether they are in here. Okay, maybe you just our local tech support. I just want to add one more point because I have been asked it. So those Germans here involved, they don't earn money with this stuff here. We do this because we are convinced that we do something for good. Also not the German lecturers. But we pay our ground control a bit. So, but this is not all people involved. So we have a lot of German lecturers. Some are already with us, two sitting over here. Dr. Victoria Sokolova. Actually, you can already get an idea that she is not really German. She lives in Germany, but she is from Kharkiv. And Professor Vladimir Mirsky over there. Can I say you are from the Soviet Union? Because he is in Germany. He's in Germany for very long already. And if you go through the list of German lecturers, you will find some more names which are not really typical German. This is also a bit particular for our school that involves German non-Germans. a person from Greek, for example, here, and Shevchenko is also not really typical German. He lives in Germany, but he has also Ukrainian roots. And most of them, hopefully, you will meet next week, some online only. And then we have a number of participants from Ukraine, means from Kharkiv, from Kyiv. I think there's also people from Lviv in there. Not all of them are with you in person, but most of them, and some will participate online. Few travel from Kharkiv to Kyiv by tomorrow. This is our support team, I mentioned them, and now comes, in a way, the most important part of this school. It's you, it's the participants. And you are listed here. Hopefully you will find your name somewhere in here. This is these two schools, you see. It's quite a lot of people, and there's another coincidence. For both schools, we have selected 30 persons, because 30 seems to be kind of a magic number in the moment. So it's very important that you actively participate. Then you make this school a success. We can talk here, but you also have not only to listen, but to get involved, ask questions, socialize with the lecturers, make contacts. We have many events I will introduce in a few minutes then. So you are those people who also have to drive this school and take this chance. So, oh, actually this slide is at the wrong position. I forgot to shift it because there should be now some greetings, and then I come to the from idea to program. And I would like to ask Professor Bilutsky to say a few words and to introduce our honorary guests. Your vice president is here, and also somebody from the international office, and also the head of the department. I don't know. She will come, I guess. So please, I ask you to introduce them because I do not know all by name, and I'm happy that we are here. So please, now our local organizer.
Dear colleagues and dear participants of the DAAD School, on behalf of the local organizing committee, I am pleased to welcome you to the Institute of Continuing Education of the Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv. Despite of the difficult current times, I hope that the hospitable and healthy atmosphere at our university will contribute to successful work of our school. I wish young participants new knowledge, fruitful discussions, new experiences, and of course, new friends. Thanks for attention. And now I invite to the microphone the next speaker, Vice Rector of the Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv, Professor Anna Kostanova.
Dear organizers, dear guests, it is our big pleasure for our university to host the school, which was supported by very famous foundation, DAAD. And we had a big history of collaboration with Germany and German institutions, and I'm sure that today you will get more information about from the representative from the international office of our universities. And first of all,
I would like to say a couple of words about all the universities on behalf of the rector of all the universities. I don't know how many people from other schools, not from Taras Shevchenko National University. Would you please raise your hand? Oh my God, it's more than 50%. It's even, I would say, 90%. It's really very great, and it means that science in Ukraine is the young people are really interested in research and improve their knowledge in research, and they are really active. Taras Shevchenko National University, I have a pointer, yes? Taras Shevchenko National University is a classical research university. You probably know that a university divided by two categories. A classical university, which teach all disciplines, and applied universities, which teach some particular disciplines, technology or medicine, and so on. All the university was established in 1834, and our first rector was actually also, he was the biologist, he was especially in botany, but then he was Professor Maximovich was invited to our university to be rector. He teach the linguistics. Actually, you can compare how changed the world. And we even cannot imagine that biology can teach linguistics right now. We also have a new rector. The election has been this year in April of 2021. The new rector, Professor Bugrov, he's a philosopher and he's a really great manager in higher education, was elected by the employee of all the university. What is the Taras Shevchenko University nowadays? It's a big corporation, I would say. We have more than 30,000 students, and we have almost 2,000 international students, and almost 1,000 of PhD students. So you can imagine so huge are the universities. And also the students are taught by their 3,000 professors who have PhDs of Doctor of Science degree. And also all the university is recognized by international rankings, and you can see that we are famous overall as a university in international rankings, and also we are famous for modern language, mathematics, physics, astronomy, and chemistry. You know that chemistry and biology are very close, and sometimes these disciplines go together. But the most important, we are the #1 according to the review of Ukrainian employees. It means that education at Taras Shevchenko National Universities, and we know that research and education go together, and it means that all the research is also so high level that we can teach and behave the best employees for the Ukrainian market and also for the world. All the university here, you can see the structure of university. We consist of 12 faculties, 10 institutes, both the educational and educational scientific institute. Also, we have the educational and scientific center actually. This is the Institute of Biology and Medicine, 2 colleges and 1 preparatory department, and we are unique since we have also Lyceum for the high school, for the school children, to teach them deeper knowledge in physics and mathematics. And this is the future students of all the universities and other universities of Ukraine. Here you can see just briefly information on the topic and subject of all the universities, faculties and institutes. As a classical university, we teach all disciplines in natural science, in life science, and also in social and humanitarian sphere. And also, we're also unique in comparison to other classical universities of Ukraine and many universities in the world, since we have the military institute at our university and also teach their students for the military in the law, psychology, linguistics, so on. We have a lot of international agreements, and here you can see that all the university, the research at all the university is supported by different local and international grants such as Horizon, NATO, CFDF, DAAD, and so on. And if we talk about the research at all the university, you can see here the analysis from the Web of Science, and the research usually represented by the publications in the top journals. And according to this analysis, you can see that our the university traditionally has a strong research group in the field of chemistry, field of new materials, nanomaterials, nanotechnology, astronomy, chemistry, so natural and life science major for our university and for research at our university. And talking about the biomedicine sphere, since I was asked to talk about the biomedicine and direction of biomedicine at our university, we have the two faculties which teach students in the field of biomedicine. The major is the Educational Scientific Center of Institute of Biology and Medicine. And also we have interdisciplinary Institute of High Technologies, which teaches interdisciplinary disciplines such as chemoinformatics, bioinformatics, biophysics. So they have the teachers from, they have the 4 departments of nanophysics, departments of supramolecular chemistry, departments of biotechnology, and departments of theoretical basis of high technologies, and they teach the students in this interdisciplinary sphere, which is a little bit out of classical education. And we are happy since we brought out the medical sphere, and we are right now at very naive first stage of the development of medicine research at our university. But we established the university hospital, and also we have the Institute of Psychiatry and the Faculty of Psychology, which help us broaden out the research in the field of biomedicine. Here you can see the list of main directions of research at our university in the field of biomedicine. Also, talking about the infrastructure for the biomedicine research, I can say that at our university we have a big zoological museum. If you have time, you can visit that museum at their main building of the university. You probably know the red building. it's a historical point, not only for the Kyiv, but also for the Ukraine. Also, we had a botanical garden named after Fomin. Botanical garden is also located in the city center of Kyiv, close to the metro station of university. So if you have time, you can also visit our botanical garden. And talking about the history of our university, botanical garden was from the first days at our university, and even right now we had a palm tree, Livingstone palm, and that palm was from the first days of our botanical garden, and right now that palm tree more than 200 years, and still it's blossom every year. It's really a very interesting history case of our university. And also talking further about the infrastructure, we had the Kyiv Nature Reserve, which belong also to our university, and our students in biology, geography, has the great opportunity to spend 40 days at this natural resort during the summer time after the first year of study at our university. And it's really hands-on training in natural location. And talking about the infrastructure of core facility of our university related to the biomedicine, I would say that we have several campuses of our university. In the city center of Ukraine, we have the main building, administrative building of our university, and also the Institute of Philology, Faculty of Chemistry. It was historically that still we have to that location the Faculty of Chemistry, but most of our natural science and the life science faculties located on this campus, where you are right now, near the Vasilkivska Street and Glushkov Avenue. And since this great location, and we have the Institute of Biology and Medicine, Institute of High Technologies, Vivarium, Institute of Psychiatry, University Hospital. This is a unique infrastructure, and because of that, we decided to start with a core facility and technological platform to push more active research, especially in interdisciplinary sphere. And today we will talk mostly about this, because nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, and biomedicine, this is really interdisciplinary field. So this is about our core facility, and also our university established the science park, and this is free for our students, PhD students, and all employees from the university. At the science park, we teach how to start your own startup, how to get the skills and entrepreneur, so you can come with your idea, scientific idea, or you can come without any ideas. And just during the study in the business school, during the last year, sitting together with other students and PhD students of our university from different departments, Faculty of Economy, Law, and so on, and Faculty of Cybernetics, Math. You can in your head can some great idea about startup arise, and you can start with your own business, and we help with that at our university. Also about the young scientists and infrastructure. At our university, we have a council of young researchers, and this is really a very active council. They provide many event for their students, PhD students, and young scientists. And I talked with one of your organizers, Anna Gribinek, and asked her that it would be great if we can invite her to give presentation as an alumni of our university and talk to young researchers and PhD students to our university about her career and about her success story, because it's motivate young scientists and students. Also talking a little bit funding opportunity for Ukrainian young researchers. You can see here that the Ministry of Education and Science and the National Academy of Science of Ukraine provides the special grants for research teams of young scientists. It means that it's no older than 35 years old for PhD and no more than 40 years old for Doctor of Science degree. So it can be exceptionally young scientists, and you can get money for your research idea, and you will get money for employ the people in your team, and also buy some supplies. You can cover your business trips and so on. And also in 2020, the National Foundation of National Research Foundation of Ukraine was established, and they also provided the grants for the young researcher which support leading and early career researchers all together, but it can be pure the young researchers team if the young researcher has really good scientific history in top-rate journals. But even if it's the mixed team of more experienced and younger researchers, it must be no less than 50% of young researchers in the team, and this is a really good support. As you can see, there's some statistics that 50-50. So the young team, the teams from the universities and the teams from the National Academy of Science has the both chance, and they compete for these grants. And also in Ukraine, we have a lot of opportunity for young researchers as scholarships and awards. If you are really active as you are here, so you are interested in research, you participate in summer school, goes for the conference, publish your results, you can apply for so many different scholarship and awards from Ukrainian government. And all this information is open, you can just learn that and use that, because this is a real good opportunity to improve your income for 1 year or even for 2 years. And also when I talk to my students, I also point out, emphasize that you have to build your CV from the first days of your research career, and also then you awarded by scholarship and any awards, you can add this to your CV, and it means that if other people recognize your achievement, and it means that you really very active in research, and it will help you to get the other grants and so on. So I would like to say thank you, and I would like to say that we are welcome you at our university, and our doors are open all the time, and I'm as a vice president for research open for collaboration and further your initiative. Thank you very much.
Actually, I would like to hand over a little gift from our university to you. So, I'm not sure what is in there. Oh no, I can identify something very important with the logo of our university. I don't know whether you are a beer drinker. So,
But I will use that for the pencils. No?
yeah.
Sometimes
Also,
to keep that on the
So,
desk. Okay,
thank you very much for the opportunity. And we have a second one for you. Anna, would you hand over the second one?
Yeah, of course.
I think it's a good chance now. And also for our local organizer, maybe you are a beer drinker, so you can now learn that you are not about to
I invite next speaker, Dr. Vyacheslav Tsivatny, as a representative of international department of our university. Probably you will add, clarify some information about our university.
Вельмишановні пані та панове, дорогі колеги, я маю велику честь і приємність привітати вас від імені освітянської громади та наших міжнародних партнерів з початком роботи непересічної події міжнародного освітньо-наукового заходу в гостинних стінах Шевченкового університету. Маємо можливість констатувати той факт, що дана осіння школа, яка проводиться спільно Німецькою службою академічних обмінів і Шевченковим університетом, це дієвий осередок інноваційних ідей та нанотехнологій на сьогодні. Дана наукова програма охоплює найбільш інтригуючі теми щодо застосування нанотехнологій та штучного інтелекту в біомедицині. Даний освітній захід поєднує в собі 5 системних складових. По-перше, це освітня складова. Це набуття вами нових знань, умінь, навичок, професійних компетентностей за напрямком тих науково-дослідних робіт, які ви здійснюєте і які ви будете продовжувати здійснювати за результатами навчання на цій програмі. По-друге, це інтернаціональна складова. Інтернаціоналізація освіти. Це той напрям, який зараз є пріоритетним в міжнародних і наукових напрямах Шевченкового університету. Адже інтернаціоналізація розглядається як ключовий пріоритет розвитку Київського національного університету. І перш за все, це розширення географії міжнародних зв'язків, прагнення закордонних інституцій до співробітництва з нашим університетом, а також плани і дієві заходи Шевченкового університету по реалізації нових міжнародних контактів з новими міжнародними організаціями та міжнародними науковими програмами. Інтернаціоналізація освіти та освітнього простору Київського національного університету імені Тараса Шевченка – це невід'ємна складова життя нашого університету. По-третє, інституціональна складова. Це під час спілкування вашого, під час цієї наукової програми у вас формується професійне середовище висококваліфікованих фахівців у сфері нанотехнологій і комп'ютерних технологій 21-го століття. По-четверте, соціокультурна складова. Це приємне спілкування і налагодження професійних зв'язків і комунікацій, професійних контактів у науковому середовищі. По-п'яте, культурно-освітня складова. Це нові позитивні емоції та творчі наукові проекти і культурна програма. Культурна програма осінньої школи чудово сформована і пропонує вашій увазі різноманітні пізнавальні заходи. Зокрема, це екскурсія до музею історії університету в Червоному корпусі. Я хочу зазначити і привернути вашу увагу, що це унікальний заклад, який має чудово сформовану колекцію експонатів про минуле і сьогодення Київського національного університету. Музей історії Київського національного університету було засновано 28 грудня 1966 року. Свою постійну експозицію даний музей вже представив 21 листопада 1978 року. Музей знаходиться в головному корпусі Київського національного університету, побудованому у 1842 році всесвітньо відомим архітектором Вікентієм Івановичем Березі. Якраз перед вами цей корпус, будь ласка, милуйтеся. Це окраса нашого міста, нашої столиці. Споруда Вікентія Березі. Експозиційна зала музею історії Київського університету – це 340 метрів квадратних територій, це 2 яруси поверхів, 7 експозицій, які охоплюють інституціональну історію університету з 1834 року і до сьогодні. Як ми кажемо, краще один раз побачити власними очима, ніж почути, тому люб'язно запрошуємо всіх вас на екскурсію до музею історії Київського університету відповідно до програми роботи осінньої школи. Що являє наш університет на сьогодні? Київський національний університет імені Тараса Шевченка – це класичний університет дослідницького типу, провідний сучасний навчальний центр України. Як ми вже згадували з вами свою інституціональну історію, Київський національний університет розпочинає з 1834 року, і тоді він називався Імператорський університет Святого Володимира. 15 липня 1834 року, у День пам'яті рівноапостольного князя Володимира, відбулося урочисте відкриття закладу. 28 серпня 1834 року в університеті розпочалися заняття. У цей день до занять в університеті приступило 62 студенти. Початково діяв лише один філософський факультет з 2 відділеннями – історико-філологічним та фізико-математичним. 1835 року відкрився юридичний факультет, а 1841 року – медичний. Філософський згодом розділився на 2 самостійні факультети. З такою структурою університет працював до 1917 року. Сучасний університет названо у 1939 році на честь українського поета Тараса Шевченка. Після закінчення Петербурзької академії мистецтв він працював в Київському університеті як співробітник археографічної комісії у 1845-1846 роках. Розгром у 1847 році Кирило-Мефодіївського товариства і арест Тараса Шевченка призупинив його роботу в університеті, але він продовжував зберігати зв'язки зі своєю альма-матер по місцю роботи і продовжував спілкування і листування з першим ректором університету. На попередній презентації ви бачили його погруддя Михайлом Максимовичем. В умовах розбудови незалежної України з 1991 року перед Київським національним університетом імені Тараса Шевченка звичайно постали нові завдання – готувати найкращі кадри для України, для інших держав, також готувати нове покоління креативного, мислячого і, яке прагне досягнути, поставлених цілей. 21 квітня 1994 року за заслуги перед державою Київський університет отримав статус національного, а 29 липня 2009 року Київський національний університет отримав статус самоврядного автономного дослідного національного вищого навчального закладу з особливим фінансуванням. На сьогодні Київський національний університет імені Тараса Шевченка має розгалужену мережу інституціональних міжнародних зв'язків з 375 зарубіжними навчальними закладами, університетами і академіями в понад 70 держав світу. У 1920-2021 роках Київський університет постійно займає належні рейтингові позиції в міжнародних рейтингах. Ми завжди раді нашим гостям і друзям у Київському національному університеті. Наші двері відчинені для всіх, хто хоче з нами співпрацювати. Бажаємо вам здоров'я в цих складних пандемічних умовах. І хочемо, щоб сьогодні цей теплий ранковий осінній ранок подарував вам натхнення для плідної роботи під час осінньої спільної школи, яку проводить німецька служба академічних обмінів і Шевченковий університет, а кожен наступний день навчання за цією новітньою науковою програмою радував вас увагою і турботою. Життя наповнювалось у вас щодня новими враженнями, яскравими подіями, практичними освітніми і науковими результатами. Гарного вам дня і дякую за увагу.
Thank you very much. It was short information for Ukrainian participants.
So, thank you to our speakers, and I'm really happy that meanwhile my colleagues arrived already. Over there in the back, it's Professor Heike Pospisil, who is the Dean of our faculty. They will introduce themselves later, and then I'm very happy that we have Professor Dr. Jörg Ralf Stephan, from the engineering department. He will give a talk in the evening, and he is the vice president for teaching and studies, and that he also does a lot of research. And I would be more than happy if in the coffee break you take the chance to speak to your counterpart from this university sitting here in front.
Thank you very much, and I'm sorry it went a bit too late.
No.
We will talk to you about it. Very good. Thank you.
Okay, so please, if you could switch on my presentation again and go to the slide where it says from idea to program. And meanwhile, I would like to add one more point to the very first slide, which I presented before I started the welcome about safety. If any of you wants to be tested, even if you are vaccinated, we have sufficient tests, and I will not take any of these tests back to Germany. They will all stay here. So if you need a test, or maybe if you think your whosoever in your family is in the moment ill, please ask our local organizers here. We need to have enough tests for Wednesday and Friday, but all these more than 100 tests will stay here. And if you are vaccinated, don't feel invulnerable or so. There is still a particular, some probability that you get infected, but then hopefully at a kind of lower level. We will have one lecturer who goes into the details of this, I think Wednesday morning. We had a very long discussion with the guy. Unfortunately, Wednesday morning we will not have so much time for discussion. Okay, I would like to continue and with the program and introduce you a little bit what we are going to do with you. From idea to program, I said already the idea came from Anna, because she is by herself an alumni of the German Academic Exchange Service as a PhD student, but her personal history you will learn later a lot about, and her experiences in Germany. But she came up with the idea of the summer school, of obviously about nanotechnology. And then I said, yeah, but we have another person from Ukraine, and she is in computer science and artificial intelligence. And then I asked Alina whether she would be in, and then I brought them together. We had to write a grant application. Fortunately, it was acknowledged. Then, unfortunately, we had to postpone this school, as it is not a summer school anymore, but we should tell it an autumn school or late summer school. We had to plan A, this was for July. Plan B was for now. We had to plan C for November, which we fortunately did not need to use now. And plan D was not to do it at all and to reapply, because we could not just simply shift it to the next year. And now the next slide. Oh, I can use this by my own. So, as I said already, there's this input here from Anna and from Alina, and I brought it under the umbrella of biomedicine, and in a few minutes they will say a few words about the scientific program, but you all have it on Uber, and all our lecturers will introduce, of course, themselves, and you have the titles. So this is this part here. I will not say a lot about, but I will tell you a little bit about this part here and about the goals of this school here, and how we try to achieve these goals. So the German Academic Exchange Service has, of course, an idea what they want to achieve with such a school, and how they want the money to be kind of invested into you. So, the idea is to attract qualified students or young scientists, not to attract them so much for the school, but to Germany. So you are invited to come to Germany to do some research in Germany. We have materials from the German Academic Exchange Service, how to do a PhD in Germany or so, and we have lecturers who will talk about this. The idea is, of course, also a scientific idea. That means there should be some training in current research areas, and we have really up-to-date research areas which we bring together. You know that at the edge of research areas, if they cross over or if they connect, innovation really starts. This is what we want somehow to support. Then there should be some technical and cultural exchange. Technical means we are talking about science and technology. Cultural exchange, I will introduce in a minute what it means. Then there should be some insights into the German system of education and research. There's a particular lecture I will give about the German science and research system, which different types of universities we have, etc. And then the idea is also to present the German universities and institutions, to foster what we call internationalization, to make advertisement for the universities, potentially to attract you to visit these universities as scientists or to do part of your education, and then potentially go back to Ukraine and, well, tell your colleagues what were your experiences. And now we come to the program, actually not the scientific part, but how we finally try to fulfill these goals. So we have a welcome party, which is today, and we have a farewell party, or get together, as they call it in the program. That means, of course, having party, drinking something, but the idea is networking. So take the chance to talk to other people, not only those which you know already, talk to people from other universities, talk to the lecturers. Then we have a part which is called Germany's Best. We asked all lecturers to present, to prepare one slide what they like most in Germany, or what they would like to present as a presentation for Germany. Those lecturers who are not around, I will try to replace. So this is a little bit to introduce Germany from different viewpoints to you. I said already I will present this. Then the German Academic Exchange Service itself will give a presentation here. Then we have, I'm really happy, the German-Ukrainian Academic Society, which also supports this. Meanwhile, I'm even a member of the society since last week. So they will give also a presentation here, how to support mobility, what they do, short presentation. And then a really nice presentation, which unfortunately I do not understand, and maybe it's even a bit advantageous if I do not understand everything. This is the foreigners' experiences in Germany, and this is given in Ukrainian or Russian, I don't know. I think maybe in the moment the only person here who doesn't understand anything of Russian, and of course not of Ukrainian. My two colleagues speak a little bit Russian or understand a little bit Russian. Of course, those people from abroad, like Vladimir Mirsky, they speak fluently Russian, and everybody here in the auditorium, of course, speaks Russian. I'm the only one who doesn't understand anything in these lectures here. So they will give a little bit an insight what experiences, good, maybe also disadvantages experience they have faced in Germany. Then we had already the soft skills days. I don't say a lot of this, so because either you have experienced it or you missed it. And then we have 2 times science at the bar, where you are asked to present briefly, and our idea is that, and I say it very clearly, that you present in a way that it is not only understandable for your colleagues, but for the public, for those people who you would visit, you would meet in the bar. This is your auditory, so make it simple and easy. Why? Because we are always in demand, more and more, to sell what we do. To sell it maybe to the investor who should give you some money if you have a startup. This would be then pitching. But in more and more, we have to sell it to the person who is called the taxpayer. Those person who pays for your research. You have to let them understand and participate in what you do. So make it simple. And therefore, we have science at the bar. And of course, science at the bar means also drinking and networking. This is maybe then hopefully called edutainment. Okay, this is it in the moment from my side, and I asked Anna and Alina just to briefly introduce a bit the scientific program. We do not have a slide for this, because you have all the Luma app, where you find all the presentations, but maybe you say a few words what is about the scientific program.
Thank you, Marcus. It's a great pleasure to be here. And just briefly about myself, I have been working more than 10 years as a computer science and biomedical engineer. In 2008, I wrote my PhD thesis in biomedical engineering, and then later in 2018, I got a doctoral degree in computer science, and all of the time I have been working closely with physicians, with biologists, and I know, who knows else, how it's important to collaborate with them and what kind of input you've done with variety of technical solutions from computer science side and a variety of tools related to artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning implementations, and how it's important to understand each other. This is why we organized our school in a way that the main point is multidisciplinarity. So we should understand biologists and speak the same language in order to benefit all together and have a powerful tool to facilitate daily work physicians, biologists, and actually our slogan, science today is medicine tomorrow. So all of our efforts should facilitate this work and bring benefits to our medical colleagues, our colleagues from our biologists, and our main focus in accordance to scientific programs, data aspects. So we try to cover all of the data aspects related to data management. This is about fair principles, findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. You will have a chance to listen and see my talk tomorrow about fair principles. And then there are other aspects related to variety of instruments from machine learning and deep learning side. That will be also lectures and workshop. And for those of you who are not familiar with some technical instruments like Python and so on, you'll have a great opportunity to learn something and then use these skills later in your daily work. Now I'm in our biology part, so our how from nanotechnology and biology students. It's a really great opportunity for you to learn some technical issues and obtain some technical expertise. And in this way, you can implement your skills in your work, and then you'll see how which benefits you have and how you can use this issues, this technical solution. So there will be a variety of topics related to variety machine learning methods, deep learning, architecture, covering also aspects related to optimization, data processing, data management, data integration. So you will be able to learn many technical, so maybe specific for you issues and topics, what you will be able to use it in your work later. And I hope all of you will benefit from this, and it's really a great opportunity for you to try a bit more in the technical direction.
Thank you. A few words for the nano part.
Good morning, everybody. It's my biggest pleasure to welcome you once more to our German-Ukrainian Autumn School in Kyiv at the Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv. And I would like to share with you that we put a lot of passion and love to shape the program in order to meet the most interesting interests and provide an opportunity not only to bring together top German and Ukrainian scientists with Ukrainian youth, but also boost the biomedical field by building a bridge between nanotechnology and artificial intelligence. I'm here as the one responsible for the nanotechnology part, and there are many definitions of the nanotechnology. I love the one, the most, which defines nanotechnology as a multidisciplinary field and merge of the chemistry, physics, biology, medicine, engineering. And we are, with you, are adding to this list the artificial intelligence, and I hope that one is two fields will contribute to the precision medicine and the development that will be started so that this week will contribute to the day when we could also treat cancer, prevent cardiovascular and neurodegenerative diseases, forget about pain, diabetes, and pandemics. So I see the biomedicine as a battlefield which has those two fields definitely in avant-garde. So for the start, we have special dummy sessions. So it means that the nano nerds, those young participants of you who are experienced in nanotechnology, will educate the other part, the computer young scientists, in the main definitions and terminology of the field. And that way, you will have enough knowledge to come to go to the intense scientific program, where the nanotechnology part covers multiple applications of nanotechnology for medicine, including anti-cancer, antiviruses, antimicrobial, and so on. With this, I would like to add that today we are starting realizing one of the biggest dreams of mine, the big event, the big scientific event to boost biomedical science, to cherish and foster German-Ukrainian cooperation at my beloved alma mater, Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv. So let us start today. Let us start together. Thank you.
So, in 15 minutes or so, we will have the first coffee break. I will take the chance to introduce a little bit my university and let's see how far I come with the introduction of myself. If not, maybe there is later a chance that you learn a bit about me. So could you start, please, the second presentation? It's called Intro or Opening, I don't know. With the coffee breaks, we organized it in the way that we tried to make, we have short coffee breaks of only 15 minutes, but we tried to make it a bit longer. As you will see maybe from the program, most of our Ukrainian lectures have 1.5 hours. Most of the Germans have less, only 1 hour. This is we have some administrative reasons to do it like this, and we ask our Ukrainian lecturers to shorten their talks by approximately 15 minutes or so to allow you a bit more time for the coffee breaks and for the socializing in the coffee breaks. Okay, so I said without the title, it's just about Wildau and myself, and I use here the old logo of my university just to point out one thing here, FH, we do not use this anymore. It means Fachhochschule. This is University of Applied Sciences. So as we are not one of these regular universities, we are a former engineering school. This means applied sciences. There is some differences. So for example, we do not award PhD titles in my university. If I have several PhD students, and I always work together with regular universities, with partners, and then they award PhD titles. We generally have smaller, more personal study groups, and in a minute we will learn a bit about the TH, this is how we call it, TH Wildau. So the distance, I should have changed this. The distance from where we are to, in this case, Kharkiv, here is Kyiv. So this would be something like 1,300 kilometers. Just drawing a direct line. To be a bit more precise, where Wildau is, we have a very famous suburb that is called Berlin. Here is Berlin. This is the federal state of Berlin, and it is completely surrounded by the federal state of Brandenburg. And Wildau is here. Actually, it's the village, but it has approximately 10,000 inhabitants. Nevertheless, it has the largest university of applied sciences in Brandenburg. And as you see, it's very close to Berlin, which gives it a very good position. So it just takes like half an hour to the center or so with a regional train. Being in Brandenburg has several advantages of finances, and also down here there's a former coal mining area, which also gives us a chance not only to play the card that we are the greater metropolitan area, but also a former coal mining area, which is down here to attract funds. So this is the geography. So I skipped this part here. Maybe later I will go into the details of this and say a bit about the university now. So this is the university from above. Actually, this is even a photo I have taken by myself during a helicopter flight a couple of years ago. As you see, it's a former industrial place here. Not all is university, only what I have encircled here. So this is the campus. And as you see, it's a really nice mixture of old and new. So we have, I go one back, and we do not have this line here. We have here old historical buildings protected under particular law. So it's not allowed to do a lot of changes. And then we have some very modern buildings here among, and it's really a nice closed place with some sports fields here. It's a little bit older, so now here we have student dorms which were not constructed at the time I have taken this photograph. So this is an historical view of the former site. So here, for example, you see this administration building. I go one back. It's this one here, where the chancellor and the president have their offices. As you see here, there's already some tracks leading directly to Berlin, and this is and used to be a place for heavy industries. So this is our background. Engineering is the background here. The place had to face two severe depressions. The first was the Second World War, when the Soviets took after the war a lot of stuff from these facilities here. And then the second one was the reunion of the two Germanys, which led to a decrease in the eastern part of the economy, and it had to be built up again. But meanwhile, it's a very vivid place with even some of these heavy industries which has been built up in the year 1900 still alive. So, to give you some more precise insights, so this is some of the old buildings. This is what we are allowed to change from the outside. So we would not be allowed to change here, for example, these parts of the roof. This is some more modern building here. This is the most recent one. My laboratories are in here. And this is one of our recently built student dorms directly located on the campus. So this is very convenient. Students need just 2 minutes if they live here into the auditory hall. Surprisingly, those who live here are normally those who come too late to the lectures. The others come from Berlin and take the takes the train, which is also the station directly located on the campus. This is our huge auditory hall here, equipped with very modern technology for presentation, etc. Well, I would say it has approximately size like this here. And this here is the library. The library is situated in also one of these old buildings. So this is a very modern interior here. Also, this is a modern interior, but both are historical buildings which have been completely renovated. And the outer appearance has been kept, but inside it was completely renovated. And as you see, the library here is made with a lot of space and a lot of natural light. So, as I already said, we are 30 years old, from engineering school with roots more than 80 years or so. We have a little bit less than 4,000 students. So this is for the University of Applied Sciences. This is an average size. So we have 2 faculties with altogether 35 study programs. So these universities are more organized along faculties and study programs, although we also have institutes. A larger proportion of our students are international students from all over the world. We have a substantial number of partnering universities in more than 40 countries all over the world. And what is particular for this university is among the universities of applied sciences, and this is generally smaller universities. The regular universities, I will go into the details of this, the regular universities could easily have 40,000 students. But among the smaller universities in Germany, we have since, I don't know, 15 years or so, a top position in acquiring funding for research projects. There is, of course, other universities of applied sciences who have more money in absolute numbers, in euros, but for calculated for each professor, we are pretty good. This results in a substantial number of active research projects and, of course, numerous scientific contacts. So to say a few words about study programs, especially in the Faculty of Engineering, Natural Sciences. As you could expect from such a university, which dates back to times when it was heavy industries and engineering on the side, a lot is about engineering. Engineering, physics, mechanical engineering, aeronautical engineering, because we have the international airport close to us. Then issues which go more into the field electronics, telematics, and so on. Automation technology. We have the representative of automation sitting there in the back. He will say later a bit about. And in both this field here, biosystems technology, bioinformatics, this is the study program I am in, and as you see, this is already something which brings together fields. So we are a little bit specialized in what we call dash study programs. So some of our study programs try to bring in together different fields, because innovation starts at this dash. So then we have a second faculty, maybe not so interesting for this auditory here, everything about business computing and law. And now would come an intro into my department, but I will not do this now. Hopefully I will have the chance to do it later, because otherwise I would have to shorten your coffee break substantially, and I see that you are suffering a lack of, to say it in biochemical words, caffeine. So coffee break is one down in the cafeteria. See you then at 11 for the next session. There's one more point to add.
I just for those of you who didn't download or didn't send your presentation, please do it now, okay?
And one more word from our local organizer.
After coffee break, I invite everyone to to take the common picture. Let's go to entrance of the institute, okay? Thank you.
Сколько у вас есть презентаций от участников?
Конечно, скажите, это все украинцы.